It all started with one of the biggest changes in my life. My name is Myung-Joon, a 16-year-old student from Korea. Last August, I left my home country and moved to Canada as an international student. Leaving behind family, friends, and everything familiar was challenging. Adjusting to a new environment and building new relationships wasn't easy. But looking back now, almost a whole year later, I realized this transition wouldn't have been possible without my second language, English. Language plays numerous roles in our lives. It sometimes represents our nationality and cultural identity, and sometimes allows us to communicate with our friends and loved ones. However, as I realized recently, it also opens a door that allows you to broaden your horizons and perspectives, opening up new connections, relationships, and opportunities. This hit me with a question. Is spoken language the very vessel that allowed me to learn and experience wonderful things in a new country really accessible to everyone? Unfortunately, the answer to that question was not that difficult to make. It wasn't. I look back when I first started learning English. While reading and writing were indeed important, the moment when I really felt confident in the language was not when I was able to read or write in English fluently. It was when I felt comfortable in speaking English. Our hearing ability plays the most significant role in learning how to speak a new language. We hear how native speakers talk and try to mimic their pronunciation, aided by the visual information such as their lips movements. I believe we can all agree that losing such visual information won't impact our learning significantly. However, losing the audio information is most likely to leave us with a major barrier. And realizing that gave me the idea for the Swift Student Challenge 2025, an app that can help individuals with hearing disabilities learn how to pronounce English. And I named it SpeechPath. I started with a big image. I had to make sure that the app does not rely on audio information when teaching English pronunciation. At the same time, the app should not be too complex, maintaining clear and intuitive visual information and feedback. When I finished the big image in my mind, I started designing the user experience, the process of learning through the app. I designed the process with 3 major steps: designing a path, learning, and practicing. Let me showcase the experience. The experience starts with the user building their own path. Path is a customized series of cards, the phrase they can learn how to pronounce. Users can choose the tags, the duration, and the difficulty they want. And SpeechPath will tailor the learning journey called Path. Once they name their path, they can move on to the first step, learn. Here, users can learn the ideal lip movements for each phoneme in the phrase by looking at their lips that represents the movements. The live video feedback in the middle allows them to observe how the lips move when learning, aiding them to learn more easily. When they finish learning by spending the required time doing so, they can move on to practice. Practice consists of 2 sub-steps, word by word and phrase. Both of them aims to do the same, only differing the way they achieve it, either practicing a word at a time or the whole phrase at once. Using speech recognition, SpeechPath transcribes the user's speech and calculates its similarity with the aimed word or phrase. Word by word requires 60% of accuracy, and phrase requires 70% to pass. Let me show you how word by word works. If I start the recognition, good. SpeechPath automatically calculates the similarity, and if it's above the threshold, it allows me to move on to the next word. I'll intentionally mispronounce the word. Hi. Morning. As you can see, SpeechPath will automatically calculate the similarity, and if it is not above the threshold, it will force me to do it again. And if it is above the threshold, which was 70%, it allows me to move on or complete the practice. And that's how SpeechPath works.